Hey everybody, Edo here, and this is Azul Summer Pavilion. I was hanging out with Keith Mateka in Wisconsin, and he played this game with me, and soon thereafter bought it and played it with the family and the extended relatives over the holiday. And I dig it a lot. I actually like this Azul more than the original, I believe. For those who are not aware of the Azul line, it's a bunch of games. Actually, I think I've only played these two, but there are a number of other ones in the line that typically have some really fun tiles and presumably a drafting mechanic, because the drafting mechanic in this game is very similar to the original. So this is an abstract strategy game where we're going to be working to get the most points, and we're going to do that by drafting these tiles and then placing them on each of our own respective boards. I'll talk about that in a second. To score points. And in the original Azul, the scoring is sort of on your own board, but here there's a shared board with a track around the perimeter with points, and actually this should have some tokens on it as well. And so what we're going to be doing is setting up those discs in front of me, and you're going to do it based on the number of players. And each round, players are going to be drafting some discs. And so what you're going to do is you are going to select one of these trays or discs and pick one color and get all of that color. And if there's a wild, which I'll talk about, you can get one wild. So in this case, since they're all different colors, I could say I really want blue. Take the blue and I push these into the middle. We're going to keep going around. Now, I only got one blue in this instance, but if I had gone here, I would get both blue and then push these other two into the middle. One of the interesting things about this game is these tiles, some of them have icons or graphics on them, others don't. I thought it was an odd decision. There's no difference, but it just means if these two colors are really close for you, it's a little annoying. Why they didn't put them on all of them, I don't know. The other thing, as I mentioned, is a wild. So each round, there's going to be 6 total rounds. One of these colors is wild. So it starts with the purple and then the green, etc. When you draft, you can also take a wild. So if I went here and I got these 2 blues like I did before, I could say also get the wild. The rest goes in the middle. So this part is very much like Azul, although I don't think Azul had a wild. As you're playing and taking things off, the middle is going to start having more as people take different groups of tiles. There's, more stuff is going to fall into the middle as we go around the table. At any point, instead of taking from the trays, a player can take from the middle, following the same rules of all of one color plus one wild. However, if you're the first player to do that, you'll get this first player token, but also negative points, 1 negative point for each one you take. So the pile in the middle is sort of getting bigger and bigger, and if you're the first to reach in, you're going to, risk, taking the negative points. Usually it isn't too big of a deal, and you do get to be first player in the next round. So we go around the table collecting all of our, diamond, rhombus, whatever, tiles. And then once everyone's done, we're in turn order going to start placing on our board. You'll notice the board has a section for each color, and then a middle section for each color. You're going to fill it with that color. Middle section, you're going to get one of each color. It's hard to see from there, but each one of these little points has a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's essentially how many tiles you need to spend to fill it in. So for 1, you just take 1 and you're going to place it on the board. For 2, it would take 2, but you'll place 1 and then return this one to the box, like so, into this little tower thing they give you. And so at the end, as the game progresses, it's only going to be filled 1 high along, but based on what you're buying, it costs more and more. You get a point for placing into each color, and the more sequence where you have tiles next to each other, you get more points. So if you have 1 on the 1, it's worth 1. If you put 1 on the 2, it's worth 2, 3, etc. You're trying to sort of build around. It doesn't matter which direction you go. So if you go 1 and then 6, it would be 1 point for the 1 and 2 points for the 6. So we're taking turns filling this in. And that's basically the game. Pull, fill. You're collecting wilds and stuff to sort of work your way through. And then there's another small mechanic on, as you're filling, you sometimes surround these areas. There's the little circle area, there's the man, the statue, and then there's the lock or the gate. And based on that, you get to take from the middle. As we're going on that second phase, you can take from the middle. So if you have the little circle, or fountain, I guess, you take 1, the monster you take 2, and then the lock you take 3. And so basically, you're working on how do I want to get the most points by sort of filling in each one concentrically, and then, you know, how do I block off areas to get the bonus tiles, and that's what you're doing. At the end of the game, you're going to get points for the points you've made as you've played, and then points for completing one full, each one of these stars. You're going to get points for getting all the 1s or all the 2s or all the 3s and all the stars, so you sort of have advantages around doing, you know, a lot or a little. Like I want to go all 1s and 2s and I'll get those points, or I want to focus on a star, that kind of thing, all while getting the bonuses here. Plays quick, it's easy. There's surprising sort of range and sort of starting on one number or one color or going big or small. Like, there's a lot of dynamics, but really the heart of it is in that decision on the drafting in front of the table. Why do I like this better than Azul? I feel like the filling in on your board is a little bit more sort of straightforward and enjoyable and interesting. And I think just the communal scoring and how this is played out works really well. As you're playing, this will get filled up. This is a new little addition of this tower, but once it's all filled, you can pour it into the bag, and that works. Beautiful insert within the box. Everything's top quality componentry. And yeah, and it scales played 2 to 4 and through really, really well, and had a good time. There's a opposite side of the board where you can sort of start with a certain color and have a little bit more agency, but the one they have is just fine. And yeah, it works. When it comes to like straightforward, easy to engage with abstract strategy games, I think it's a winner. It's easy to recommend. So that is Azul, Summer Pavilion. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.